Hello, everyone, and welcome to an emergency episode of the We're Going 5 podcast powered by TSH Tennis. I'm Yousef.
Hi, I'm Ismaeel.
Hey guys, I'm Haroon.
We were supposed to have a calm beginning of the off-season, but Carlos Alcaraz and Juan Carlos Ferrero decided to drop an absolute bombshell to start, I guess, the 2026 season, parting ways after over 7 years together. Countless titles, 6 Grand Slams. Shocking to say the least. Guys, we briefly gave our thoughts on what this fiasco was, I guess, in our standpoint, but here we have them deciding to part ways. Carlos Alcaraz, Juan Carlos Ferrero. We're trying to make what we can of this. So much information has been spread over the past 24 hours, but let's have a discussion. Ismaeel, let me start with you. Your thoughts on why in the world this happened?
Yeah, why it happened, I don't know. But my feelings now are of sadness because I feel like Alcaraz didn't reach his potential and Juanqui's the one.
You think he didn't reach his potential?
No, I think he still has the room to grow and be more.
Yeah, for sure.
And Juanqui is going to get him there. Like, he was the one, he knows him intimately so well. He knows him since he was a 14-year-old, 15-year-old. I thought he was a father figure for him. I'm so sad that now I'm not sure about his development in the next step. He's so talented to keep winning, but just I feel like tennis lost a lot, genuinely. And why did it break up? You tell me all the reasons that are coming out, right? It's clear that Alcaraz let him go. Like, this is now
Alcaraz's team, which is also one nugget.
Yeah.
Alcaraz's team apparently is what decided to end the partnership with Juan Carlos Ferrero. Carlos Alcaraz, from reports, wanted Juan Carlos to continue.
And this for me is a big problem. This is for me a big problem.
That's such a weird thing. Why in the world would he want him? But the team said, it's like he's the one in charge. He's the one that has
He's not the
final
one in
say.
charge. That's the thing.
He's the CEO, though. Alcaraz is the CEO of himself. He should have final say.
It should be. We can't say for a fact what is and what isn't, but his dad is mainly in charge of everything that goes around the Carlos Alcaraz business. And from what we understand from the reports that have been spread is that Carlos Alcaraz's dad might have been having disputes with Juan Carlos Ferrero. There might have been a power struggle a bit. Juan Carlos Ferrero wanted things to be done a certain way. Also, you can even go and check. I'll try to get the screenshot of Juan Carlos. Carlos Alcaraz's academy. His dad's writing in the bio that this is where he was built. This is where Carlos Alcaraz was made, which is actually not the case, right? Because Juan Carlos Ferrero Academy is what made Carlos Alcaraz into what he is. And lots of interesting things. And now lately, Carlos Alcaraz is not going to the Juan Carlos Ferrero Academy to practice as much. He's sticking to his academy, which makes sense. But I don't know. They're saying maybe there's something there. There's lots of smoke. Where there's smoke, there is fire. But we don't know where the fire is at the moment. But clearly, there's something going on between the Carlos Alcaraz camp and Juan Carlos Ferrero, but not between Carlos Alcaraz and Juan Carlos Ferrero.
It's a big problem. And also the reports about if it was purely just about a contract dispute about money.
That, to me, that's the wildest one.
For me, this is the saddest one. Like, if they break up because of a money issue, I mean, this is part of the business of sports, and they are in the business of sports, Alcaraz and Juanqui, so these things happen. But I thought they were above that, and I thought their relationship transcended beyond just pure money-making type of business. And if it is because of Carlos Alcaraz's dad, or if it is because of money, in both cases, it's sad because Carlos himself doesn't have final say. It's hard for me to believe that Carlos doesn't have final say. I really struggle to believe that. Like, unless something happened that Juanqui upset Carlos's dad to the point where then Carlos had to let him go. But even then, that's wild, Haroon.
I refuse to believe that. I don't think that Alcaraz is just a guy in the team. Like, he is the team. Like, if Alcaraz wants something, he gets it. If he doesn't want it, then it doesn't happen. I don't think anybody is pulling strings above or going above what Alcaraz wants. That to me is hard to believe. And also how their relationship is, how you see Juan Carlos Ferrero and Alcaraz with each other. it doesn't make sense to see that, there could be some money issues or should be some political dynamics there. I don't know. I refuse to believe that. I think that maybe...
Then what do you think is the reason?
I think that Alcaraz...
Because these are the
wants
reasons we have it.
I think Alcaraz wants a new challenge. Maybe that's...
So you think Alcaraz wants this to be over?
Well, if Juan Carlos said that he wanted to continue, then Alcaraz then decided to move off of him. It happens. We see a lot of great players move off of coaches sometimes. We see Nadal moved off from Tony Nadal. We see Federer moved off of his coaches before. So
and Djokovic moved off Ivanisevic after arguably one of his greatest seasons.
The two shocking ones are Tony Nadal and Goran Ivanisevic. Those are the ones like that. What's going on?
And this is right up there with them. It might be more shocking.
But at least with Rafa, Carlos Moya had joined the team,
and he was on the team for years.
And
before.
then Carlos Moya took over. But as it stands, what we have is his coach Samuel Lopez. From the reports also, he's only going to be the interim. They are looking for a new coach.
Well, I mean, that makes sense also because Juanqui is the head coach. So Samuel Lopez is the backup coach, essentially. He's not the head coach, and he's not the one intimately familiar with Alcaraz the way Juanqui is. The other thing that I was reading, and I don't know how much truth is to that Juanqui wasn't traveling to all the tournaments, and so that's something that the Alcaraz camp was not happy about. Was it the dad? Was it Carlos himself? I don't know, but it's true that Juanqui's not there at every tournament.
Yeah.
And so...
He has had some health issues.
He had a knee surgery that happened at the beginning of the year.
Some back stuff too, if I recall.
So it seems like he's been going through some health stuff. But other than that, I mean, maybe Alcaraz wants someone there all the time. Maybe his dad believes someone should be there all the time. But I mean, he won a zillion titles last year, and he had the best season ever when Juanqui still wasn't there. So it wasn't like...
To be fair, Juanqui's there whenever, like... Do you guys remember, was it Indian Wells or Miami, where Juan Carlos Ferrero's dad passed away, and that's why he wasn't with him. But he still found I don't know, he found it within him to go, and he showed how much he supports him. He went to him for the final, and he was there. And Carlos Alcaraz did not expect him to be there. So that thing of like Juan Carlos Ferrero is not traveling, doesn't want to travel, like he'll make it work. But when, Queens, we want a week off because we went through a grinding clay court swing. I'm going to take Queens off, and then we're back for the rest of the season. Or he's there most of the season. Like, we can count a few weeks where he's not there. It's not like it's an ongoing thing that has been happening.
And he's still winning. So like, and if now there's a relationship where he understands Alcaraz so well that he cannot be there and still give input and valuable advice even when not. And with the backup coach, then things were manageable. So, but I'm saying this is maybe one of the points that camp might have been upset with. Like, because other than the fact that about money, about control, or now about this traveling point, or potentially health issues with Juanqui, but I really don't think health issues are the point of breakup. So it's one of those three. And so it's either money, either the camp, or either, no, they're not happy, he's not traveling all the time, which is still back to the camp. Yeah. And so it's a power struggle. I don't know if there's any conflicts. Do you think there are any conflicts between Juanqui and Carlos himself? I mean, the documentary that was on Netflix about Carlos is called My Way. Does he want to do things his way? Does he now believe that he shouldn't maybe do things a certain way that Juanqui wants?
But
do you think that's part of
that?
It?
My Way was about not this season. It was about the season before. Was it as good as this season?
No,
it wasn't. And this season he did it Juan Carlos Ferrero's way, because he had the things of, I want to travel to Ibiza, I want to take some breaks, and I guess partying was the thing. That was the thing in the documentary. But this year when they told him, are you doing any of that partying? He said, no. He said, I'm too old for that. Which means that's the Juan Carlos Ferrero way, just relaxing at home, then back on the grind. And we saw what he did in Queens.
Maybe he doesn't want to do that. Maybe Alcaraz also doesn't want to do that as well himself. Like,
do you think there's an issue between Carlos and Juanqui along the philosophy or style of coaching, or like the relationship?
I don't think in necessarily an issue. I think it's just that maybe Alcaraz wants to grow out of the role that he has now. Maybe he wants to do things maybe a bit differently. Maybe he wants a new, he wants a new path now, a new journey. He wants to shed his old skin, and maybe he feels like a kid. Maybe with Juan Carlos, maybe he feels like it reached a plateau, even though he's breaking barriers all the time. But that's the only logic. If Alcaraz, if Djokovic did it with Ivan Isavic, if Nadal did it with Tony Nadal, and if Federer also did it with his coaches, like it happened before, where the greats moved on and continued to be great, and they developed into a new type of player. They don't always stay 20 years with the same coach. It happens on all types of sports. So it's shocking because you didn't feel like there are any issues, but it's normal for any great.
Yeah. That's a fair point. Like we didn't.
But when did it happen with Goran? When did it happen with Rafa?
It happened with Goran after he won like 3 sets consecutively.
I'm talking about the age. Carlos Alcaraz he's still a baby in terms of his career.
But the coaching period was long, and with Goran and Djokovic, the period was shorter actually than this with Juanki.
Yeah.
And I think might be, Haroon, a very good point about maybe Alcaraz now. He's world number 1. He's the king of tennis. Like, he wants to be treated like a man. Like, he wants to dictate how things are done. Yeah. And with Juanqui, he's probably feels like a child.
Maybe.
And maybe Juanqui genuinely sees him as a child. He did come on as his coach when he was a teenager, in his early teens. So, and I wouldn't blame him for that. Actually, I wouldn't blame him for that if he feels like he needs to now take full control of his programming and his scheduling and his own input. He's earned that right, and maybe that's something good for him even in his development. Like we can't rule that out. So I think that's a very good point.
Yeah,
it's good reasoning. Like that's good. That's something I'd be like, okay, I can understand.
This is the most.
I can understand that one.
This is the most.
But
Bible
no one
story.
said that one.
Nobody said that one. But this is for me the most Bible story. The most Bible story for why Alcaraz left Juanqui is that he wants to become his own man. He wants to have more say on his coaching program, on his coaching style, on his training style, his training philosophy, his overall lifestyle, the type of things he wants to do around tennis, and not just follow the program that's been put by Juanqui, to feel like a man, to not feel like a child, to feel truly like the world number 1, and to have final say on everything. It's hard to believe that he would have final say with Juanqui, given Juanqui has been, essentially his tennis father.
Yeah, and also maybe, we have to give credit. Probably Juanqui is obviously doing a great job. He's trying to treat him more like a man. Maybe not. I don't think it's reduced to thinking that he's a child.
Yeah,
but maybe
taking on more responsibility.
This is the feeling.
Maybe the feeling is that he's not a father figure all the time. It's not like, my father's with me. Like, you feel like everybody looks at Alcaraz as he's the man. What do you need, Alcaraz? What do you need? Instead of, here's what you should do, Alcaraz. Instead of...
I could argue that that's a good thing, not having a yes man as your coach.
Not a yes man, but it's more of a partnership, more of equal, rather than I am the coach, I am your father figure, I know better.
Yeah.
That's the thing, and Tom Brady, for example, had with Bill Belichick in American football. He had him for 20 years, so he needed to move off of that, not feeling like somebody's always above you necessarily. So, and that's just, I think, in nature of sports, and all of elite players go through that. And so I don't think that maybe it's money, because I think that they have a much deeper connection than just purely money. Maybe there could be some disputes with the dad and the team. It could be, definitely, because obviously things get complicated. But I don't think that those are the main reasons. I don't think health is also a concern, because maybe it could be a concern in the sense that he wants him to be consistently there, not necessarily that, you have health issues, this is not going to work out. Yeah. He just wants somebody to give him more attention. You want somebody to cater to him more.
And he wants to have more input. I think he wants to have more input and leadership in how he does things. And I think this is the most viable, because money, I think it's solvable. I think the relationship, power struggle, it comes down to Alcaraz. Alcaraz, if he said, we're keeping on Juanqui, they would keep Juanqui.
Like, they're all making so much money.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
and if he's still living at his house, like he doesn't have a mansion. He's living in his house. He just buys shoes. Like he doesn't spend.
He doesn't
on
even
anything.
buy those shoes, brother.
They give him all the shoes or whatever. So, and if you see how he hugs Juanqui and how like they embrace, it definitely feels like there's no money issue. There's no friction.
But that's what
there.
makes you sad, Haroon, because like the thing that's playing in my mind over and over again is that hug after he won Roland Garros, when he ran up to him and he hugged, that bear hug between both of them. It's like, that's an unbreakable bond. That's someone like he was there with you. That's the person. Those are moments that you're like, okay, this person's not going anywhere in my life. That's what it looks like to me from the outside. I see that hug, for example, from that Roland Garros match, and I'm like, that's a bond that can't be broken. That's someone that's sticking with you for life. There is no way that this partnership is ever going to end. And a few months later, look what we have. Yeah, I'm shocked. I am shocked.
But we saw with Christoph, like Christoph said, with partnerships that he had, sometimes just things don't feel right. Sometimes maybe it just needs a new change. So like.
Yeah, and we saw Medvedev do part ways with Gilles Servara also again with him for a similar period of time.
No, but that's not a failure of a season.
Sure.
That's not coming off the best season you've ever had. Historic win in Roland Garros. Amazing demolition what he did in the U.S. Open.
And it's really concerning because Alcaraz improved so much this year, and Juanqui has to get a lot of credit for improving during the year. He improved. He had two major improvements this year. One, after Wimbledon, going into the US Open, and then going into the ATP finals, the way he was able to go toe-to-toe with Yannick on indoor hard, which has been his by far weakest surface.
Yeah.
Who he had never won a title until Rotterdam earlier in that year by a couple months.
And the consistency, Ismaeel, the consistency we saw during the entire year was something that we don't usually see from Carlos, or from the clay swing onward. We know he lost early in the beginning of the season. Yeah. But you know what sticks with me in this entire thing? I think to break up with Juan Carlos Ferrero at this time and have this gigantic black cloud over their head is the worst possible scenario you can have for Carlos Alcaraz. And you know who's looking at this and probably smiling? Because there are two guys that saw this and see everything that's going on and are like, ooh, that's awesome. And that's Jannik Sinner and Novak Djokovic, because they are in the lab, putting in the work, grinding. Novak Djokovic just hired someone new and he said, I'm gonna rewire everything to make my body as in best shape possible. And we see Jannik Sinner, we're seeing videos, he's working as hard as he can possibly work. And the Australian Open is just a few weeks away. They're gonna be ready to go for that title. And Carlos Alcaraz at the moment, they're having conversations of who's going to be your next coach. So, career slam in Australian Open, we're going to have to take a step back and look at this. And Carlos Alcaraz in 2026, I'm going to take a step back and be like, okay, there's instability. And instability is the worst thing for anyone at this level. We saw it when there was instability with Stefanos Tsitsipas last year, firing his dad, bring this guy on, do this and that. What happened? So there's instability in the Carlos Alcaraz team, and for Carlos Alcaraz, and going into the Australian Open, Novak Djokovic and Jannik Sinner are looking at this as like, okay, one of our main rivals right now is having big issues, and we're gonna exploit it. And he, from his standpoint, he's looking at it like, oh my God, right now I have instability, and this is not good. And the beginning of the 2026 season is just a few weeks away.
Haroon, what do you think? What's the future going to look like for Alcaraz here now without Juanqui?
I think that the future is extremely bright. I think that it's a whole new beginning for Alcaraz. I'm not worried at all because he's extremely...
At all? Not worried at all?
I think it's going to be a turbulent...
Yousef is very worried.
I'm not worried at all because he is a great player.
He's an emotional person too.
He is, but also you have to give him credit for being solid and mentally tough, and he's way more mature than his age. And this is a very experienced
I agree.
person. So he went through trials and tribulations that people don't go through even in their first 40s.
He's never had this break. He's never had this earthquake in his team. He's had stability from 13 years old.
Sure, fine.
So he's going into the complete unknown. So for you to imagine that it's going to be fine when he's never had anything similar to
Yeah,
this.
but we need to level back down on planet Earth here. He didn't go through a divorce. He didn't lose his house. He's still a gigantic millionaire. He has lots of money. He's super talented. He's extremely fit. He's very young. He has a lot of other stable pieces around him. He has a stable family. So and he went through similar things. Juan Carlos Ferrero wasn't always with him in the box when he won big titles. So it's not a completely new thing. And also, I think that I feel like his team is going to definitely want to provide stability for him, as you say. However, anybody that's going to join in new, I feel is also going to be extremely attentive to these details, extremely caring, extremely focused. And I think that like Alcaraz just loves tennis. So he wants to play tennis. He wants to enjoy it. It's not a job. As long as he's feeling great and feeling emotionally positive, I think those are good signs for me. And as for long-term future, anybody else that's going to join in is going to definitely bring lots of great ideas. He's going to feel like, oh my God, I'm with Alcaraz now. This is the time to take it to the next.
When is that going to happen?
Whenever. It doesn't matter. But
It's going to take time.
Sure, but also he is a great player, like full stop. It's like Juan Carlos Ferrero, yes, took him to the next step, but if you go back and watch who Alcaraz was, it felt like he was bound to succeed. It's not like like he needed to mold into this player who he is.
Yes, he
he
did.
was always. He had that. He was a diamond in the rough, and Juan Carlos Ferrero polished it. So we give him lots of credit for doing what he did. But it's not like, oh my God, Alcaraz is nothing now. I disagree with that.
What's nothing? I didn't say he's nothing. I'm saying he's going to go through a very turbulent time
I don't
that
think
is
so.
going to affect him from a mental standpoint. But I disagree. But Ismaeel, go ahead.
Sorry, but the last point, we had Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. Tom Brady and Bill Belichick, everybody said that, yeah, he is a systems QB. He's only in the system. Bill Belichick, when in this case, Juan Carlos Ferrero is the one that made him. I think that Tom Brady went on and won a Super Bowl. He won a championship. Juan Carlos Ferrero is going to go on and win big titles with or without Juan Carlos Ferrero or any legendary coach. So he is a legend on its own.
I mean, those are such good points, and they're both very valid arguments for me. To be honest, initially I thought that, this is a huge moment. I was more on Yousef's side. I thought this is such a big moment that Alcaraz is losing this immense amount of tennis knowledge and IQ inside his box and that emotional stability. Juanqui also has a very cool and steady sense of calm, which I think he brings to Alcaraz, which is great. Alcaraz is known for looking at his box after every point, so we assume that the relationship is quite intimate and quite strong and that he needs him.
Yeah.
But now that we're talking, it is true that Alcaraz is now, he needed Juanqui to take off, but he's now flying at 3,000 foot altitude. He's soaring now. He's there now. He's the man, and he needs to get a lot of credit for being the man. And he's such a smart, great tennis player. Like he is on track to become the greatest of all time, potentially. Right now, in terms of
He's
age,
baby goat.
He's baby goat with age and accomplishments. People get upset we don't call Sinner baby goat, but Sinner's also on track to do something incredible. But Alcaraz, because he's a bit younger, he's really on track to be spectacular. He's really on track to be something we've never ever seen, and he deserves a lot of credit for that. He's so mature for his age. He's such a smart tennis player. He's so composed and he's so talented. It's hard for me to believe that this move is not for him to create a new challenge for himself. And I really think that this new challenge might bring the best out of him. Federer went for years without a head coach, and he was able to manage himself and dominate the tour without a main head coach. So yeah, go ahead.
Severin Luthi was with him the entire time.
Sure, but he was not his head coach.
But to that point, like in 2009, that was kind of like the big transition that Federer went through when he decided that the speculation that he doesn't need a coach, that he is fine on his own. I don't feel like that's the same thing with Alcaraz. I don't think like he feels like he doesn't need a coach. He just feels like he doesn't need Juanqui, maybe. So
No, I'm saying that Federer managed without a coach,
yeah,
and because Federer was great, and I think and that's what Federer felt was best for him at the time, and if Carlos feels that it's best for him for his next challenge or his next phase of growth to not have Juanqui in his corner, I think he'll have a lot of valid reasons for it. And with that being said, I think I am less worried actually than maybe you are, Yousef. I think I'm more on Haroon's side. I think Alcaraz has valid reasons, and I think this might actually bring the best out of him to bring on a new challenge.
I agree, by the way. I agree. Carlos Alcaraz has reached a level where he is on his way to become the greatest of greats. I still say there is going to be turbulence in the very near future only. And not turbulence on his career.
I also
but there was
I disagree.
What's turbulence?
But I disagree with the turbulence because he has Samuel Lopez, who he's won many tournaments with, and he knows exactly the system they run and the improvements they've been working on. Also, Samuel Lopez is the one that changed his serve and improved it, and towards the end of the season. So actually, there's no turbulence. It's just going to be he's going to be more of the leader. And I think he's going to manage.
Let's also say
Go back to that hug.
What is turbulence?
I love the
Go
hug.
back to that.
But let's define what turbulence is.
No, because
Like,
there's
what do you
going.
mean? Like, you're not going to win a slam, or
I'm not gonna identify with exact results in tournaments.
Yeah, because
but
because then you could feel like if you're if this
so
is turbulence or just normal tennis player.
what's not normal tennis player?
results.
Carlos Alcaraz will ups and downs. Juan Carlos Ferrero was there for him at every stage in his life, at every big milestone. He was there, the first person to console him when he lost, the first person to hug him when he won.
He doesn't want that anymore.
Okay, fine, but I'm just saying, I don't think it's going to be as if he wasn't there. Really? So then you're disregarding the importance of someone like a Juan Carlos Ferrero in your life. If all of a sudden you're able to move off like this, and it's not going to affect you in any way.
No, it's not going to affect any way. But like he wants that.
Okay.
He wants to move him off because he wants to move off him. Then he will be fine because Alcaraz has decided he wants to be the man now, and also he has the backup head coach Samuel Lopez who will give him the inputs that he wants.
Then the next thing is, okay, they said they're looking for a head coach. Then you bring in a head coach, whoever. We'll have a discussion there. But then when does that guy implement his vision, for example, what he wants to change for Carlos?
It would be incremental.
Yeah, I know. So these things are gonna take time, and if you want to do changes, half of the off season's done. We were just talking, like we're gonna release an interview with Christoph Liegen where we were just talking with him, and they're basically like they're well into the off-season program. So a new coach is not going to come in now and change much. So I don't know where that comes in. Like if you told me Samuel Lopez is going to take control and then they're going to see, I don't know.
Samuel Lopez is overseeing what improvements. I'm sure Alcaraz knows what he wants to improve. This is what I can tell now. Alcaraz knows, and he's going to take control over what he's going to work on.
So something I just want to point out, like what are Alcaraz's big challenges? Like two people. Sinner and Djokovic. So like the whole big thing, if you coach, no coach, one hand, two hands, 60% Alcaraz, I take him above the rest of the tour, except two guys, which is Novak Djokovic and Yannick Sinner. That's it. I think that Alcaraz is fine. Alcaraz is fine. So that's the only thing that he really maybe needs really specific guidance, specific studying and whatever to approach a Yannick Sinner match or Djokovic. But we'll see how he matches up with them, but semi-finals at least, like for Alcaraz in any tournament that he steps on.
Maybe final. He's still a perennial finalist
like,
minimum.
Well, we're gonna see, but they did announce that they are looking for an actual head coach to take over. So, Ismaeel, who do you think should be Carlos Alcaraz's next head coach?
I have no idea. You mentioned Rafael Nadal, which was. That would be amazing just because of that fact. Like, that would be so cool to see Rafa coaching Carlos, and who would give him better advice than Rafa? There are rumors that are saying David Ferrer might join his camp because of the Davis Cup ties, and maybe that's going to be something. I'm not sure.
You know, he needs somebody more juice.
But there are few people who have more juice, Haroon. That's the thing. Like, there are few world number ones out there. Like the only other world number one that he can maybe is Carlos Moya.
Yeah.
Like, is he gonna go to Moya? But then, Alcaraz is a different player, and I think he wants to craft his own legacy and brand now. He's trying. That's why he's going off Juanqui. So I don't see him going to a known head coach. I really see him. No, I see him going to something new. I don't see him going to like a Rafa or a Moya. I don't see that. I see him going for a new project.
What do you think, Haroon?
It's tough also. It's yeah, you're starting to plant some ideas in my head, but I don't know. I think that Alcaraz is going to want somebody Spanish. I think he needs somebody that has that same energy like he does, understands him, because that's where they flourish. That's where they, yeah. So maybe Carlos Moya is on the table. I wouldn't put it past him.
I wouldn't put it past him, Haroon, but I just don't think he wants a celebrity. Like, I
don't think Carlos Moya is. I think Juanqui maybe is slightly bigger than Carlos Moya. Like Carlos Moya he was former world number 1, but he wasn't as big as Juanqui. Juanqui was.
Carlos Moya would be a great choice. It would be an amazing choice. Like, but let me say, out of the names out there, if I was Alcaraz, I would pick Carlos Moya. I would, but I don't think he is gonna pick Carlos. I just don't think.
That's Rafael Nadal Academy, and then
exactly. I don't think he wants to be under Rafa's legacy. I really believe with this Juanqui move, he wants to be his own man, and so I don't think he's gonna go for Carlos Moya or Goran Ivanisevic or any of the Cervara. I don't think he's gonna go for any names. He's gonna go for someone that's gonna be a new energy for him and a new name.
Yeah, I don't know. It's really tough. You make a good point there, but then if you think about it, who's left then? Who's left?
No, there are many good coaches like Christoph Vliegen. Yeah. He's a great coach, but he's just not known amongst the celebrity coaches. Sure. Gilles Cervara was not known before Medvedev took him to the top.
Then in that case, we can't put a name on it. We just have to say
that's
a
what I'm saying. I don't have a name.
Yeah, I agree with you, Haroon. I think he needs a Spaniard. Just to be able to talk freely, to be able to express himself the right way. But, if he decides to venture further, but I don't really agree with you, Ismaeel, that he's not going to look for someone a big name. I think Carlos Alcaraz needs a big name. Andy Murray?
You just said Spaniard.
I know, but if he decides to venture,
unless Andy Murray learns Spanish in the next.
If he decides to venture beyond, is the Andy Murray on the table? I don't know. Is that someone that
if he needs a big name? Why not Goran then?
Tennis. I don't know. But Andy Murray, there's kind of a relationship there. He likes him. They like Goran.
It's a joke. It's a joke which can.
Yeah, it's also and we know if anyone read Tsitsipas's mom's article, she said how much Goran just loves Novak, and Novak is his number 1. So the fact that even that's kind of betrayal to Novak, and I think you're never gonna see Goran.
Yeah, it's like if you're Madrid and you're going to play for Barcelona or. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like if you're Madrid going to play for Barcelona or any of these types of teams,
Yeah, but I'm Spanish. I honestly, at this moment, I have no idea who in the world is going to coach him. Samuel Lopez is probably going to be the guy for a while. And we're all going to be surprised.
Who knows? Maybe Samuel Lopez turns out to be a fantastic coach and they win a slam.
That's great. And I'm with you because that's part of the team that continues the stability. But they're saying we're looking for a head coach. And looking for a head coach means you have no one within the camp. You have no one that's right there that can easily slip into the job. You're looking for someone beyond. So, yeah.
Well, maybe they're saying that also just to get the word out that Alcaraz is looking so that people can then, who are interested. This is the number 1 job in sports now.
Apply.
This is now, overnight, the number 1 job in sports. You're just taking over the potentially greatest tennis player to ever live.
Are you going to apply?
I wish I could, but I cannot help him for Jack. I have nothing to help him with.
You can give him
energy. I can give energy.
Oh, Verdasco!
Yeah, no.
I don't think Verdasco has.
I love Verdasco, my favorite player.
No,
disrespecting your favorite player?
Why am
I think, I mean, if I had to put my money on it, it's going to be a new name. Yeah. Or Samuel Lopez continuing for a good amount of time.
Yeah.
And I definitely don't see a big name.
Yeah.
I definitely don't see a big name. I agree with the Spanish speaking. It doesn't have to be Spaniard, but Spanish speaking, 100%. That's all I
Del
can
Potro. Anyways, well, there's so many names. We can name every single name out there, basically, who could possibly coach Alcaraz. but only time will tell, and it's going to be very interesting. Can't wait to have that discussion whenever that happens.
But you guys need to let us know, who do you think?
Yes, definitely. But, you know, there's a guy that's leaving this partnership, and he's leaving as a much bigger star. Juan Carlos Ferrero is no longer the former world number 1 Roland Garros champion. He is now on the market as a 6-time Grand Slam winning head coach, coach of world number 1, many times having the youngest ever. He has so many historic records on his resume now as a coach. And as much as Carlos Alcaraz is a free agent, Juan Carlos Ferrero is a free agent as well. So the question to be asked here is, who should Juan Carlos Ferrero go coach next, Haroon?
Yeah, it's a tough one because Juan Carlos Ferrero, if I'm not mistaken, he turned down Team at one point, and then he left Zverev.
He left Zverev for Alcaraz.
Yeah, it was Zverev for Alcaraz, and he had...
he left Zverev for a 13-year-old
13-year-old Alcaraz.
Yeah. And he rejected to coach Team as well, Dominic Team. And there was somebody else, I think, that was also a big name that he rejected. I think maybe someone on the women's side. Yeah, I don't know. I think maybe Juan Carlos Ferrero is going to go down the same path of look for a young project again. I think that's something...
Again, start from...
Well, I think it's not starting. Like, I don't think it's... I think he cares more about building some a new talent. Maybe he could join Joao Fonseca.
Joao.
I think Wow's happy with his team, like same way Carlitos was happy with his team. I think Wow has a team in place.
I also think Juanqui would not betray Alcaraz. So I don't think Juanqui you would see him in any rivals camp. Because Yannick Sinner's going to call him. You know Yannick Sinner's going to call him. 100% Yannick calls everyone. Yannick called Djokovic's fitness coaches. Yannick, he steals everyone's coach. Yannick doesn't give a lick. He'll make the call. He'll bring Juanqui into the camp. His own coach, Darren Cahill, is leaving. I wouldn't be shocked if he... Yeah, one more year left. He'll make the call. Juanqui... Sinner will make the call, but
Sinner's an assassin.
He's an assassin.
He does not care.
He's an assassin, but Juanqui's not picking up Sinner or Djokovic or Wow Zhao's calls. I can guarantee
Why are you putting Wow Zhao in the same league?
Because he's a
But
rival.
everybody else
Wow
is going to be
Zhao's
a
a
rival.
rival.
The tour is
not
everybody's a
everyone.
rival.
People who can be great are rivals.
Yeah, not everyone's a rival. Then who do you think, Ismaeel, he should go to?
I think, I don't know, Haroon, if he has it in him to go 8 years again with a young puppy in his teenage years.
But if you go through the same...
That's a lifetime.
Yeah.
But
like, how many lifetimes do you have?
Who else could you take to win 6 slams?
That's not,
like
why does that
tennis
have to be
is,
why does that have to be the barometer for how he chooses his next
No,
player?
but why would he want them to just go be mediocre?
What's
Like,
he
would you if you would rather take somebody and win 3 slams over an entire career, at most, or take a young guy and win 6 or possibly more if he continued beyond this relationship?
I think he wants to coach at the top of the game, and Alcaraz was the project because he knew he could get Alcaraz to the top of the game, and then this is where he can benefit the most because actually Juanqui knows the ins and outs of the top of the game. Like, he knows how to beat Sinner. Yeah. That's how good Juanqui is.
He knows how to win back-to-back slams. He knows how to get someone to world number 1 for the entire... Like, he has all that.
He knows how to manage that. So I think he wants to be there. I don't know if someone can have it in them to go that route again. I just think, like, it's like someone...
But he has the blueprint, though.
He has the blueprint.
You're just looking at chapter 9 and 10, but he
does.
has chapter 1, 2
He does,
unlocked.
You're right. And maybe that's his passion. But, you know, his hair got much grayer over the past couple of years, too. So
I think he's looking just fine.
I don't know if he can... If he has it in him. He's 100% capable. He's now... The way Alcaraz is the number 1 job in the market... Juanqui's the number 1 coach on the market right now as well. And, like, I think everyone should make a call. If I'm Felix Auger, I make the call. If I'm Ben Shelton, I make the call. If I'm Musetti, I make the call. Any one of those guys in the top yet to get to a slam, I make that call. If I'm Wow Zhao, honestly, I make that call. But Juanqui's not going to pick up. I make the call if I'm anyone outside in the top 10 outside Sinner and Djokovic. Even Djokovic, I would make the call. Like, I would make the call if I'm Djokovic, but I don't think Juanqui would pick up the Djokovic call. So I don't know, Yousef. I just think it's going to be someone that is going to be at the top of the game.
Yep.
And if it's not someone at the top of the game, it's going to be a young project that definitely he believes is going to be at the top of the game and soon. And the argument also, again, for the young project, Haroon, is he got Alcaraz also to the top of the game within 4 or 5 years, right? Like, he was world number one within 5 years. So maybe 5 years is not that bad. He can get someone to world number one in 5 years again. Maybe he does it, right? Maybe he does it. And I don't know, Yousef. I think these are my raw thoughts.
To me, there's one person that I believe should have picked up the phone yesterday to call them.
Tsitsipas?
No. and it's a person who probably has beef with him. I think Sasha Zverev should make that call.
Ooh.
I believe Sasha should bury the hatchet with whatever, because I know Juan Carlos. We never saw anything bad said from Sasha, but we did see bad things said from Juan Carlos Ferrero.
Wow.
But I think he should be the bigger man for his career. Sasha's looking to win a slam. He wants that more than anything in his life. Juan Carlos Ferrero has the pedigree of winning a Grand Slam now as a coach. You go back to him and you ask him for that secret sauce and help me get over the hump. And let's forget about what happened in the past. Let's find a way together. And you take me. You want a big project? You take me. You people say, maybe my time's up. Maybe my window has closed. And you take that person and you take him to the promised land, even if it's one time. But I think with Sasha, as I said before, if it happens once, it will happen more. But take Alexander Zverev and take him to become that multiple Grand Slam champion that everyone on planet Earth believes he can be.
Ooh, this is such a good take. This is spicy good take. Someone who can beat Alcaraz, Sinner, and Djokovic in your camp, can get you to the top of the world in terms of slams, can get you to world number one, your dream.
Yeah.
Ooh. That's the best take. That's the best project actually on the table.
Yeah.
That's the best project on the table.
It's going to require both to be able to forget the past. It's going to require Juan Carlos Ferrero for whatever he has. Doesn't think Sasha, he said he's not professional, not working as hard. I think Sasha works very hard from what I see, and you can't become what you became that way. And then it's going to require Sasha from his side, okay, I forgive you for what you said. Sasha's family to forgive him for what he said. And then be like, let's go chase greatness. Because we are great. We are all-time great. But let's put our name in the conversation for one of the best to ever live.
That would be amazing. That would genuinely be amazing. And that's definitely, if they can bury that, Yousef, that would be the best project for both. Yeah. That would be the best project for both.
Here's a wild take. Alcaraz's little brother, Jaime Alcaraz. Go on for Alcaraz 1, Alcaraz 2. Well, but actually,
that's awesome.
Jaime's
on his way, isn't he? People are saying he's actually looking better than what Alcaraz did when he was
I don't know.
younger.
I only see those videos and he looks awesome. He looks exactly like Alcaraz. So I have no idea good is he.
Going off reports, and he's winning tournaments. He's winning tournaments. Whatever any tournament he's playing, I think he's winning it. So Jaime, why not? But that's that project again of grind, baby, grind from.
But it's like, if you look at the numbers, who is winning Grand Slams? There are very few. There are not that many players.
No, they're not. They're not many. They're none. It's just two.
None. So it is a much more lucrative investment to take a guy that you see has great potential than somebody that just comes this close and always loses.
You think Zverev is that
I
guy?
think Zverev is a great project. I think Zverev is right there. He's right at the cusp of winning a big title, and maybe Juan Carlos Ferrero.
Grand Slam. He's won big titles. Grand Slam.
A Grand Slam. Excuse me. But I think that also if he explores another young project, would be great. However, here's a spicy one. Holger Rune. I think Holger Rune would be an interesting one. Holger Rune has been looking for a coach. He's been looking for that stability, and he hasn't.
And he's open to it.
And
he brought on 16 coaches last year.
He hasn't found the right fit.
Haroon, spicy. I don't even know which one I like more. I like Rune more than Zverev for Juanqui.
And he's right there. He's been battling toe to toe with all these big guys, and he's no beef, nothing, no hatchet to bury. So I think it is a nice runway there to take him to the next step.
Oh, such another good take. Another good take.
Also, time will tell. But very, very juicy stories that we're gonna get in the coming weeks, coming months. We'll find out.
We'll see.
But this is interesting, guys.
You let us know, who do you think is going to be Alcaraz's next head coach? Who is Juanqui going to coach next? So many interesting thoughts out there. And your thoughts on the breakup. Do you think this was for the best for Alcaraz? Let us know what you think. We read all the comments. And if you like that, subscribe so you can get all your tennis stories here every week. And we'll see you next time.
Have a good night. Good night. Good night. Very good night.